present Anything Legal by Wally K. Daly, starring Donald Hewlett and Michael Knowles, with special guest Marjorie Withers.
Right, well, I think that just about covers it, George. If you remember everything I've told you and what you have to say, everything will work out fine. Got it, George? George! You've fallen asleep again.
What? Oh, who? Oh, it's you, Charles. I was having this wonderful dream about someone droning on at me soporifically.
Yes, that was me, George. You're not supposed to have wonderful dreams. You're supposed to listen and learn.
Ah.
Well, did you?
No, I went to sleep, actually.
I thought so.
Sorry about that.
Well, let's try again. I'll repeat everything just once more, and you'll have to really concentrate this time.
I'm trying very hard, Charles, but every time you start, I'm asleep in a flash.
But that's totally counterproductive. There's no good just me being able to do it. We've both got to be able to do it, so we can take on twice as many clients.
I understand the principle perfectly, but in practice, what happens is, you speak, I fall asleep.
Well, this time I speak, you stay awake. And remember, as deep a voice as possible.
Right you are, Charles.
Right, here goes. Anything Legal presents its Stop Smoking, Biting Your Nails, and Losing Weight Hypnotism service. Are you still compost, George?
Oh, yes, totally.
Good. Then just repeat what I said to check you've got the gist.
Right. You said, are you still compost, George?
No. Before that, the introductory speech.
Oh, that.
Anything Legal presents its Stop Smoking, Biting Your Nails, and Losing Weight Hypnotism service.
Right. So far, so good.
Now, sit comfortably in your chair, and I will take you on a voyage into your inner self.
Oh, goody. I like this bit.
No, not you, George. That's what we say to the clients.
Oh,
Of course. Sit comfortably in your chair, and I will take you on a voyage into your inner self.
Very good.
Your whole body is suddenly feeling very heavy.
gosh, you're right.
Your eyelids are drooping.
Certainly are.
And slowly, as I count to 10, they will grow heavier and heavier and heavier.
Now, the way you count the numbers, George, is terribly important, according to the book. You must take your time about it. So,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
George? Oh, good Lord, he's gone again. Who would credit anyone could go as quickly as that? At £50 a time, if we could get all our future clients to go under that quickly, our fortune would be assured. Oh, well, while he's under, might as well practice a post-hypnotic suggestion or two. See if that works as well as the putting people into a trance bit. Now, what shall I give him to do? Oh, I know.
George? Can you hear me, George?
Yes, I hear you.
Good show, I'm getting through.
George, you are not truly asleep.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, no.
Oh, for goodness sake. George, you just think you are asleep.
But it's so real. I can almost hear Hillary snoring.
It's probably a passing tug somewhere on the estuary. Just ignore it and it'll go away.
Very well, I'll do that.
You are not asleep. In reality, your mind is floating in a hinterland between sleep and awake.
When you say hinterland, do you mean like aeroplanes?
Aeroplanes?
We're coming into land.
No, not like aeroplanes. Like hinterland. Hinterland with a H.
A soft, downy wonderland where all your troubles are safe behind you and you can rest comfortable, free from all care.
Oh, lovely. You mean my nursery?
No, I don't mean... Oh, very well. What difference does it make where the hinterland is, so long as he's secure?
Yes, George, the nursery will do fine.
Oh, goody. Can Nanny come too?
No, George, Nanny cannot come too.
But what if there's thunder? I don't like thunder.
There won't be any thunder.
Lions hiding in the cupboard.
All lions hiding in the cupboard come to that.
Not much of a nursery, is it? There were always lions in my cupboard.
Well, just try to relax and concentrate, George.
How can I relax without Nanny rocking her chair in the corner of my room? Squeak, squeak, squeak.
All right, damn it. You can have your blooming Nanny there if you insist. Well, tell her she must keep quiet.
Oh, goody. Hello, Nanny. The voice in my head said, you must keep quiet.
Right, George.
Now, what I want you to do is listen to a few simple instructions. Remember them, and then when you hear them again, do the simple tasks I will give you to do. Now, first, when you hear the words, Chucky eggs and soldiers.
Chucky eggs and soldiers.
Yes. When you hear those words, George, you must stand on one leg and crow like a rooster.
Stand on one leg and crow like a rooster.
Yes.
But that's not nice.
Oh, please, simply remember the instructions and don't argue.
Second, upon hearing the words cold custard and prunes, you will say it's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. And make the loudest raspberry noise you can manage.
But that's not nice either.
It's just for experimental purposes.
But
no buts.
Third, you will be able to remember clearly everything I've said re-hypnotism so far. Got that?
droopy eyelids, heavy body, 10, 9, 8 and all that.
They're the ones.
Now, George, when I count to 3 and click my fingers, you'll be wide awake and totally back to normal, though you will remember all the instructions I have given you.
Yes, I will.
Right. Ready for counting and click?
No, wait.
What is it?
Bye-bye, Nanny. Bye-bye. I'll come back and visit you soon.
1, 2, 3.
Damn, why on earth did I say I'd click my fingers? The one thing I've never been able to do. George? Are you awake, George? That was no good. He's lost in a lonely hinterland, waiting to be clicked back to the normal world. And I can't blooming well click. What on earth can I do? Oh, no! I can't let a client see George like this. They'll think he's balmy. Still, I can't afford to lose a client's custom.
Come in.
Come in.
Hello.
Hello, can I help you?
Have I come to the right place?
Right place?
Anything legal weight watching by hypnotism department?
Yes, madam, you have indeed come to the right place. Soon your troubles will be behind you.
That's where most of them are already. I do hope you don't mind me calling in like this without an appointment.
No, it's quite all right. Forgive me for asking, but I don't suppose by any faint chance you have a click, have you?
I beg your pardon.
Can you click your fingers? Did you learn how to do it as a child?
I most certainly did. Like this, you mean?
Oh, good. Seems to have done the trick.
What on earth have I done? That tailor's dummy sitting in the chair started to stir.
It's all right, madam. It's not a tailor's dummy, really. That's my partner. He was sort of sleeping.
A sort of sleeping partner.
Something like that.
It's so rigid.
He goes like that occasionally. Stiff upbringing.
Oh, Charles, you wouldn't believe it. I was just having the most amazing dream about Nanny.
Oh, Oh, it isn't. Is it?
Nanny!
Oh, it couldn't be.
Oh, Nanny!
It is. Master Georgie Porgy, how lovely to see you after all these years.
How be blowed, you two know each other?
It's Nanny.
And my little Georgie.
Gosh, who would
Porgy.
credit such a thing?
It's been such a long time, Nanny. What on earth have you been doing all these years?
And after you went off to play your war games with real tanks and soldiers and things, Georgie, there was no need for me to stay on at Tall Pines, though your mother enjoyed the company, of course.
Yes. She wrote to me to break the news that you left. Dreadful shock, I must say. I missed you frightfully when I came home on leave.
I thought it best to make a clean break. Anyway, I finally found another little family and another little nursery with children to protect from the lions in the cupboard.
Those were the days.
I must say it's a bit of an eye-opener to me, Nanny, this lion in the nursery cupboard business.
You mean you never had any in yours?
No, never. Mine was full of tigers.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Gosh, how awful for you, Charles. I mean, lions are dreadful, but tigers, terrifying.
Oh, not too bad, really. You see, Nanny used to put her rocking chair between my bed and the cupboard door, and the tigers were frightened off by the squeaks.
Well, it's the only thing to do when there's lions or tigers in the cupboard.
So, what's brought you to us now, Nanny?
Well, as I was explaining to your partner, Mr.
Oh, call me Charlie boy, Nanny.
Charlie boy?
Yes, that's my name in Nanny talk. But I must make it quite plain to you, George. I do not expect to hear it mentioned again after this visit by Nanny.
But of course not. Same goes for Georgie Porgy.
Naturally. Right, having got that sorted out, feel free to continue, Nanny.
Well, while you were doing a very good imitation of a tailor's dummy sitting in that chair, Georgie,
Good Lord, was I really?
I simply popped in, having seen the advertisement about your hypnotism service.
Gosh, Nanny, you haven't started smoking, have you?
Certainly not. You know as well as I do that you only start smoking if you want to grow up to be a gnome or a dwarf.
Of course. I was forgetting. But fingernail biting is almost as bad.
Worse, much worse. First sign of a murderous disposition. Killing off beauty down to the very quick. So naturally it wouldn't be that I want curing.
But all that leaves is weight. And it can't be that, surely.
I'm afraid so.
But you're my nanny. You need to be cuddly, Nanny. There's not a superfluous pound on you.
Times change, I'm afraid. Houses are no longer built with double doors to every room to allow for the crinoline, or the average-sized nanny, for the matter of that. I spend half my days going through doors sideways at the moment. A lifetime of eating leftover chooky eggs and soldiers has certainly left its... Good Lord, Georgie Porgy, what on earth are you doing? What are you standing on one leg and making that awful noise for? What on earth's the matter with you?
It's too hard to explain. Click your fingers.
But I can hardly hear.
Click your fingers, Nanny. Oh, it isn't working. I'll count to 3 and then you click.
What?
I'll count to 3 and then you click.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
See, what you'd like us to do, Nanny, is sort out your problem for you. What are you staring at me like that for, Nanny? Charles, what is it?
Well, rather difficult to explain, George, in front of Nanny.
Speak up, Charlie boy. Nanny or no nanny, we've got to get to the bottom of this. Young Master George has just been bewitched before my eyes and turned into a chick hen.
A chicken?
A rooster, actually.
You mean I did a Jekyll and Hyde, got covered all over with fluffy feathers, and had little scrawny legs with splayed feet, plus a red comb on my head?
No, of course not, you silly boy. You made a noise like a chicken.
Oh, thank the Lord for that. Hilary would never forgive me if I got feathers all over the new carpet.
I'll explain later, George, all right?
You'll explain now, Charlie boy. If I say to a child, chucky eggs and soldiers, I don't expect this sort... Oh, no, he's at it again.
1, 2, 3, click, Nanny, click.
Well, I'm sorry. I simply refuse to believe that such a thing is possible. I mean, one would certainly remember if one had made noises like a chicken in public. One wouldn't forget that sort of thing in a hurry, now would one? Wouldn't one?
It happened again.
What?
You stood on one leg, Made your head go all cockerelly and crowed.
Good God, how dreadful.
There is a simple explanation to all this. You see, I planted a post-hypnotic suggestion that when you heard the words, a certain phrase, this is how you would react.
You mean by saying...
Don't say it. Yes, I'm afraid so.
You mean you had the dashed impertinence to leave a silliness lurking at the back of my mind like a time bomb, Charles?
Well, we had to find out whether post-hypnotic suggestions actually work, George. We're trying to build up a whole new growth area for anything legal. You mustn't grumble just because one simple little exercise gone awry.
But you've made me stand on one leg and crow like a chicken, Charles.
A rooster?
The sex is irrelevant. You made me look silly in front of Nanny, and that's unforgivable.
Unforgivable? Unforgivable, indeed. Just think yourself damn lucky she didn't say cold custard and prunes.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good.
Georgie, Georgie, how could you?
So there we were, Nanny. Both out of a job, and the only thing available seemed to be security or secretarial, neither of which had much appeal.
No chance of working in our own field. So Charles came up with the idea of going into business by ourselves.
What about your wives?
We thought it best not to tell them.
Until we were on our feet and the business was booming, sort of thing.
Quite right, too. Girls are such namby-pambies when it comes to boys' games that have a bit of danger attached. So, how's your little business going?
Well, I think we could safely say we've had our ups and downs, wouldn't you, George?
Yes, I think one could safely say that, Charles. On balance, slightly more downs than ups, but still, early days.
And what sort of thing do you get up to?
Well, we've had a fair cross-section of projects so far, many of which we now subcontract. Babysitting, granny chatting,
Dog walking,
plus cats when the need arises.
security checks on empty properties, and the occasional
Poetry for that special occasion.
tried a bit of detective work at one point.
Not too good at that. Kept losing the chaps we had to follow.
Yes, dash difficult. Slightly more successful at putting children on planes and boats, mind.
One soon gets used to the bruised shins.
As I learned very early on, of course.
But of course,
So you're a sort of universal uncle.
yeah, I suppose you could say that. Slightly more flexible, perhaps. I mean, anything legal is wide open for any offers.
But not quite enough offers have come in yet.
Yes, I'm afraid that's about the size of it, Nanny.
We're making a living, just. But let's face it, if one doesn't have the courage to tell one's wife one isn't an executive anymore, she goes on spending as though one was, and the problems escalate.
So what's the answer?
Being rich, I suppose.
But we aren't, and not likely to be.
Well, in that case, we'll just have to see if there's a way to make you both rich then, shan't we?
You mean you could?
Oh, I could certainly have a try.
But how?
Being nanny in the homes of financial wizards and business giants has its little perks, you know. So, you just get all your books and accounts out on the desk for me to have a look at.
Would you, Nanny?
Anything for my little Georgie Porgy. And you can both pop off and buy yourselves an ice cream. And play in the park for half an hour while I have a look through them. But be careful crossing the road.
Righto, Nanny.
Super. Well, come on, George. Give me a hand to collect all the paperwork. Cheers, George.
Cheers, Charles.
Very nice to meet your nanny, George. Charming lady.
Yes, super. Bit of a stickler about naughtiness, mind. Do you think she might smell this stuff on our breath?
We'll buy some bullseyes on the way back. That'll kill it stone dead.
Oh, good. Wouldn't like you to suspect I take a drink occasionally.
Me neither. That's delicious.
Here, here. So, what do you think, Charles?
I think.
Reckon she'll be able to come up with something?
Well, she's your nanny, George.
Ah, yes.
Actually, I think the nicest thing is having a kindly outsider take an honest look at how we're doing. I mean, if we showed our books to the bank manager and asked for a loan, his laughter would follow us mockingly up the high street. But one's old nanny is quite different. She wouldn't want to hurt us.
But the very opposite.
Exactly.
How bad is it likely to be?
Best wait till we see what Nanny has to say. She'll probably break the news in a slightly friendlier fashion than I could.
Ah, fair enough.
Disastrous. Absolutely disastrous.
As bad as that?
Afraid so. Probably worse.
Glad you didn't break the bad news, Charles. It's much better coming from Nanny.
Yes, I thought it would be.
The simple fact is you're not generating enough income to support two people. A good living for one might be just possible. There's enough good ideas down here on paper to provide that. With lots of hard work, that is.
You think one of us should go?
On the figures I've seen so far, that would be one answer.
Oh, no. That would be awful, Nanny. I can't imagine either one of us slaving here alone. Besides which, we've always faced up to dangerous situations together.
Africa?
Suez?
Tripoli?
The camel driver's daughter in Khartoum?
Gosh, that was dangerous.
Surely you can't expect us to split up now, Nanny.
As I said, that was one possibility I had in mind.
There's more?
Yes. A large influx of money would also help enormously. Give you more of a breathing space till you generate additional income.
How large?
£25,000 should do nicely.
What?
The only problem being that, on paper, your business doesn't look too rosy. The first thing a bank manager would suggest is that you split up, and he certainly wouldn't lend you any money on it. So there's only one answer to that problem.
What's that, Nanny?
If you promise faithfully to pay it back as soon as you can afford to, plus accumulated interest at the appropriate
Oh, no,
rate...
no, Nanny. Oh, no, we could never accept it. Not from you.
I'm not going to offer it.
Oh.
Don't be a silly boy, Georgie. Nannies don't have that sort of money. Our whole life is dedicated to frugality and a final resting place in some ivy-clad cottage in the grounds of a country mansion.
Sorry, I was forgetting.
What I was going to say before you so rudely interrupted is that if you faithfully promise to pay the money back with interest, I shall give you permission to rob a bank.
What?
But not to take more than £25,000. Any more would be greedy.
We couldn't do that sort of thing, Nanny. We're executives, dash it.
Anything but that, Nanny. The thought horrifies me. I could never walk into a bank wearing a mask and say, hand up your sticks, this is a cock-up.
Perhaps the tension of the moment made that last one go a bit awry, George.
Of course.
I think I got the gist there. Robberies are just not on.
That's not the answer, Nanny.
Good. That's exactly what I thought you'd say. I'm very pleased with you both.
Oh, good.
But if we don't want to split up, and we're morally incapable of robbing a bank, what else is left?
My favoured solution...
What's that, Nanny?
A great leap of the imagination.
Ah, that sounds more interesting.
You're both obviously not cut out for small business.
Aren't we?
Certainly not. You're not so much doers as watchers.
Are we?
Yes. And that's what makes you natural, born and bred executives.
I must admit I am.
And that's what you must go back to being.
But how? There are no jobs available.
Self-employed executives. This business of yours, anything legal, is a lovely idea. A clearinghouse for all sorts of problems, perfect for one man and a government-subsidized boy. All that's required is a phone and transport. Perfect. Every town needs one, not to mention large villages, coupled with the fact that what the country needs is jobs, preferably self-employed jobs, if I'm to believe what that rather pushy little Margaret girl keeps saying in Parliament. And as the country is also awash with redundant workers with redundancy money hot in their pockets ready to invest, you two simply cannot fail.
I think you've lost me somewhere along the way, Nanny.
Me too, I'm afraid.
You don't do the job of anything legal yourselves.
Don't we?
No. You simply sell other people the right to do it for you. You both become the concessionary.
Concessionary?
You know, George, you simply sell people the right to use your name.
What, George?
No. Anything legal. Then all we have to do is oversee the whole operation. It's brilliant, Nanny. But will it work?
How can it fail? Keep the concession price low, charge £10 for introductory information, advertise, and see what happens.
By George, we'll do it.
Gosh, it's good to see you looking so pleased, Charles. Don't suppose you could quietly fill me in on what's going on, could you?
Don't you realise, George, we're going back to being executives?
Ah, so that's what it's all about. Marvellous.
Oh, Georgie, Porgy, I've never seen you looking so happy since I used to bring your Wednesday tea time treat into the nursery.
And what was that, Nanny?
Cold custard and prunes.
Oh, no!
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Not another one, Charles.
Yes, just like the others. Please send us the information, etc. Find enclosed £10 cheque, plus stamped addressed envelope. Amazing.
Never seen so many letters in my life. There must be hundreds of them.
At least, and thousands of pounds, George. Nanny was right. The idea obviously appeals. If even half of these started up, anything legal shop fronts would become as familiar a sight in the high street as citizens of Vice Bureau.
And it's all down to Nanny. You know, I'm really going to miss the everyday round of our little business. Walking dogs, changing washers and what have you. It'll be sad to put it all behind us.
Yes, I was thinking the same myself. Apart from not being economical, an awful lot of fun.
Of course, now the pressure of not having enough money's off us, we could just carry on.
Carry on?
Yes, doing all those little jobs ourselves as before. Use them as a sort of test bed for the whole anything legal complex.
Good Lord, what a marvellous idea, George. Almost worthy of a nanny.
You really think so?
Smashing. We'll carry on then, as before.
Oh, goody. How about Marjorie and Hilary? You said we'd let them in on it when we were established.
Yeah, we'll leave it a little bit longer, shall we? After all, if we're as successful as we think we are, we might appear to be boasting.
Oh, good thinking. Keep them in the dark it is, then.
Oh, I'll take it. It's Pips. Ah. Hello? Anything legal? Can I help you? Yes? Would you speak up, please? It's a crackly line. Ah, that's better. Yes, we can do that. Who? Your husband. And your friend's husband. What? My voice sounds familiar, does it? Yeah, I feel I've heard yours as well somewhere. Oh, Lord, it can't be. You're where, madam? Coming round now. Well, it's not terribly convenient at this... Hello? Hello? She's gone.
You've gone rather pallid, Charles. All right, are you?
That was Marjorie.
No.
Yes, no mistaking that voice.
But
she's in the phone box round the corner, on her way round now.
But how awful for you.
Yes, just as awful for you. Hillary's with her. What?
Oh, no.
Afraid so.
How on earth did they discover our phone number?
Saw our advert in the paper. They were just ringing anything legal to do a job for them.
Good God. Charles?
Yes?
I don't suppose Marjorie mentioned the sort of job they wanted doing, did she?
Yes. Said their husbands had been acting very strangely for the last few weeks. They wanted us to follow them to find out what was going on.
Goodness gracious. But that's you and me, Charles.
Yes. Difficult.
But this is dreadful. What on earth do we do? Too late to make a run for it, I suppose.
Absolutely. It'd be embarrassing to bump into them on the stairs.
Hadn't thought of that. We must do something, though.
Yeah, afraid there's only one answer, George.
What's that?
We must do what all husbands do when they're about to be found out by their wives.
Yes, Charles?
Lie to them, George. We must lie to them.
You've been listening to Anything Legal by Wally K. Daly, starring Donald Hewlett as Charles and Michael Knowles as George. And this week, Marjorie Withers featured as Nanny. The theme music was written by Jim Parker, and the programme was produced by John Fawcett Wilson.